Hey yo! Hello everybody! How we all doing? Just getting set up over here. Yeah, let's do this. Oh, I still need chat though. Hi Samantha! Hi Matty! How are you both doing? It's been a busy week on my end. Kinda as expected, you know. I seem to say that every time, so no surprise there, I'm guessing. I've been working hard on a first proper tutorial. I'm learning a bunch of new stuff, right? Like I'm learning how to script a video, like how to properly build a storyline into a video. Which is really exciting. I feel like it's really exciting to go from like storytelling in environment art and transferring some of those skills into YouTube videos. Like I find it very interesting that there's overlaps. Like as in like how to structure something to make it make sense to a person that's going to be watching something, right? There's no guarantee that it's going to be good, right? But I'm having fun and I feel really good about the current iteration that I'm doing. So yeah, we'll have to have a look. I don't really have a timeline on when it's gonna come out so far. Man, what would be like an estimation? Because like it's the first time that I'm doing it, right? So I'm kind of setting up like a whole bunch of stuff too, where it comes to like transitions and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm kind of figuring like a bunch of stuff out, and then also doing lighting setups, like when to have like a talking head in the video, when to actually record my screen, and then blending the two. So much interesting stuff happening. I'm really happy that I made the switch from doing the weekly tip to doing the stuff that I'm doing now. I feel like it's gonna be. I mean, I'm just enjoying it. Like, I feel like creative again, so that's awesome. Got a bunch of people in the chat. We got Ephraim, who's back. We got Joe. We got Vibhu. We got August Fam. Hiya. Good to see you here. How's everyone doing? So yeah, just a little update on that side, right? I'm having a lot of fun with the video editing side of it. I think I don't want to become like a YouTube channel, right? Just saying that straight out of the bat. I don't want to push out like multiple videos a week. I don't ever want to get to that point. Well, let's not say ever, but that's not what I'm currently wanting to do. So I actually want to just focus on like what can help other environment artists that are just in the beginning of their journey, right? That's kind of the focus that I have with the tutorials now. So yeah, we'll see. First time coming in a live stream. I watch your stuff all the time while I work. Oh, that's awesome, August. That's awesome. All right, enough yapping though. Enough talking about like other stuff. Let's continue working on the market stalls. Again, didn't really prepare anything. I'm just gonna jump in and continue where we were last week, right? I'm gonna see. Gonna see where we all end up. Let me actually zoom out to like an empty section and see which market stalls we have. That one was looking quite good. The base of the... Oh, yeah. We did the base of this one, right? But we definitely need to refine it a bit more. We change this one up a bit, and then we have the smaller one as well. And this one, I guess. Oh, first. Is this pre-recorded or are you live? I don't know, you know? I don't know, maybe I'm just an AI. Maybe this is not live. Maybe I'm just in the Matrix right now. Okay, scales feel pretty good. This one feels really big though. Okay, but these scales feel good. Maybe this one is quite big? Where are my market stalls? Here they are, because it's supposed to be something like this, right? That one is for the tall kids. Oh, yeah. That one? Oh my god. That's for, like, if we have, like, different races, right? Like, in the game. And this is, like, a market stall for, like, the giant race. I think we can scale this down uniformly a little bit, though. I feel like this one is pretty big. I don't actually know if I have, like, a first-person thing in here. I don't think so. We could. Nah, don't want to do that. So let's pick one of these. I'm gonna continue on this guy. Just to see what we still need to do here. Clean it up a little bit. Probably add some ropes as well to get a ref up. Necessarily want to do the flags, but that little fringe is quite nice though. Like that little fringe on the edge. We could potentially make... Oh, that would be cool. We could potentially make that into like a little trim. Right, like have a trim where you have like the fringe on the ends of it. I think... What do I have on my texture right now? Oh, I think we didn't do any of that, right? I think I reverted from doing something like that. Okay, this is cool. So, because this is actually like perfect to just make it into like a new trim. So, what we could do, make that a separate texture. And then we have like the base cloth and then like little trims like that. That would be quite nice. Okay, well, if I'm talking about that anyway, let's do that, right? Follow your heart and all that stuff. All this. Thank you. That is not the latest one. This is the latest one. Yes, okay. We're gonna do that though. A tint map. I am just gonna duplicate this. So, claw. Trims. Very descriptive name, very good. Oh yeah, for people that are new, forgot to say this. Feel free to ask any questions or bring up any topics that you're wondering about, right? Like if you see me do some weird shit, if you have any questions about the games industry, if I can help with anything, feel free to put it in the chat and I love to discuss it. Friday stream! Hi Sarah! Man, this is messy. Okay, so what do we need? Like, I don't need that much from here, right? Because we don't need the base setup or anything like that. I literally just want to have ORM, height, opacity, AO. We need all that stuff. I should have honestly just used a template at this point, right? Because I'm basically just gonna remove all this. That goes into the hide. Let's just plug something in real quick. Let's do that. Hi Rory! It's good to have you back. How are you doing? And then we do a gradient map. So we're basically just starting from scratch. I should have just used a template, you know. So how are we gonna do this? I know that I want to have multiple trims, but I don't know how many trims I need at this point. So we're just gonna see where we're ending up. Where's Antoine de Jean when we need him? What do you mean? I don't need him. Ugh. Oh, hi Hazel! The rare occasion I managed to catch a stream, but unfortunately can't stay for very long. Hi everyone. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you for popping in, Hazel. So I'm gonna put this to like a 0.2. Because that means that I have 5 trims in total, right? I just need to... Where am I going to put that? Right? So that would be like the mask for my first trim. Now we just need to figure out what we're going to do with it. So there's like a little edge. There's like a little edge there. I just want to get something in at this point, right? I'm just gonna focus on setting up the structure first. Because this is interesting because I only want to tile it like one way, right? So I only want like one row, but I don't... Oh, I guess... Oh my god. Definitely don't need that. So if we... Hi Loya, hi Vivek. Good to have you all here. I'm doing good, thank you so much for asking. Went out for a nice walk before the stream, so... Yona, is it okay if I watch this? It depends if you have any phobias of node-based programs or something like that, because then it's not okay. I would advise you to not watch anything that's gonna make you feel ill. Otherwise, totally fine to watch it. Too real. So I guess we can do something like this, but this feels so wrong. But hey, I guess it kind of works. And then we can increase the input like this. Oh, obviously the size is going to be... So I wonder... So this is something that I've never really figured out, right? Or never really haven't tried, is that I can link the size to the X parameter, right? I can do that. I just have never done it. And I'm not going to do that now. So we can... Oh, no, like even in Substance, like I can expose that to like a parameter and then I can have it in Substance. Okay, so we have the base. Let's move it up just a little bit more. Right, and I kind of want it on like the border, something like that. Probably gonna need like way more. Just gonna tweak this a little bit. Right, so if we have like a little bit of overlap, that seems to work. Then we just need more of those. Let's say 100. And do something like that. Right. We're gonna use this as a mask. It's gonna be in the foreground. Ooh. And now we just need like the individual like strands, right? Oh! Look at this! There's fibers here! Oh my god, I could just use that. Hey. You live and learn. So we could technically... We'll definitely need to scale this down. August was coming in with a good question. How often do environment artists find themselves creating props as well? Or is that usually outsourced? It depends. I mean, that's an answer you're gonna hear like a lot, right? But I always try to explain it as best that I can. There are positions where you will be doing both. But there are also positions where you will be focusing on the level art, just really building the environments, right? So there is definitely both. No. So yeah, it kind of, the best way to find out is actually if you are applying to a job, right? Like look at the listing and look at the requirements for that listing. That's probably the best way to figure out if they want you to do prop art or not. Let's change the tiling to only horizontal tiling. Yes. And then something like this. We can only use 200 characters. That's not enough for my question. What? How is that not enough for a question? You can split it up into multiple questions if you want. Or like multiple paragraphs, I guess. But that's going to be a long question. Rory saying, hey, yes, I remember that there was a way to expose the parameters, but I don't remember it well. Maybe in the properties above. Maybe someone else knows better. Yeah, that's the thing. I know how to do it, right? But I don't know the specific way that it works, so I'm not going to dive into it here. But thank you so much for offering the advice, though. Appreciate that. So we have this. Now I'm gonna build the other shape, which is just so we start out with like a strand like this. And then we I guess we can do the tiling like this. Can I increase that to like 100? Oh, okay, okay. So and then if we oh, probably gonna need like another blend. Blend that in there. No, we should actually blend this. Do it with the same mask. And then combine these two, right? And what I am gonna do is we're gonna add a little bit of control. So I want to have a gradient from top to bottom. Then we're gonna subtract that. Because I want to basically cut out. Oh, that was a deprecated one. And then we can do... probably need a histogram for this. Get confused by all the histogram ones. Histogram select, is that the one that I'm looking for? Yeah, this one has a contrast. Okay. And then if I invert that. And that goes in there. Dunk. Let's see. I want to ask HR about recommendations for a portfolio. Do you ever write a letter to HR? I don't know how and what to ask. I want to ask HR about recommendations for a portfolio. Are you, is this the company that you work for currently? Or is this a company that you want to apply for in the future? Well, let me rephrase the second one, Aloya. Is this a company that you applied to and then got rejected? Maybe that's like a better way of asking it. Because I have the feeling that that might be the case, but I'm not sure. Thank you for the insight from August. No worries. Happy to help. Thank you for the question. Let's see. What are we doing here? So I kind of want those fringes to start. And then do something. Now we want to expand it a little bit because we want the gradient to be more at the top and less at the bottom. Something like that. I want to work in this company, but I have a style, like a portfolio in a PBR style, and I want to swap to stylize. So I want to start with what type of models do I need to get a job in the company? I mean, you can ask HR, but I feel that the chances are really likely that they won't respond because they probably get like a bunch of those questions regardless. It's actually a bit up to you. Well, look, I will still try it. It doesn't hurt to try, but look, the best way of doing this is looking at the portfolio that they have in terms of games and then try to make something in the style of that, right? Like it can be anything really. Like as long as the style matches and you have like an interesting prop, then you're good. So I wouldn't wait necessarily on like a person from HR to maybe get back to you. I would just look at their games, look at the style, how they approach it, and then try to like replicate it with like a prop from your own. That's the way that I would approach that. And then Blaze is coming in with the long paragraphs. I've been facing a challenge with focusing on a single goal. I've always wanted to pursue a career as an environment artist, but I've struggled to create a portfolio. Despite spending a lot of time learning the necessary skills and software, I've never managed to complete a portfolio for any specific field. I've taken on some freelance work here and there, however, now I'm determined to dive back into environment art. I can't help but feel worried that I'll encounter the same cycle of procrastination. Do you have any suggestions or tips on how I should break free from this pattern and finally build a solid portfolio in environment art? Well, first thing is to be really introspective. Is environment art really something that you love to do, and why? Like, what attracts you to environment art, right? Like, why are you doing this? Like, the question of why is actually super important when it comes to the longevity in any career. Like, if you can figure out like why you do something, that's going to give you like all the reasons that you need to keep on doing it over the long term. So try to figure that out first. Try to figure out like your why, like why are you doing it? And your why shouldn't be something that's attached to like something external, right? It's like, why do you want to do it? Like, oh, I want to make money. You know, like you can make money with like anything else, right? It should be something that comes from within, not from something external. Because for me, like the reason why I'm doing this is because I love and always have loved like the process of coming up with worlds and environments, right? Like, and that even transcended before I was an environment artist. I was trying to become a concept artist first. And I actually have like sketchbooks full of stuff. Right? Sketchbooks like full of stuff, like full of drawings. Before I even wanted to become an environment artist, but like a lot of it was just environments, right? Like a lot of it was already like trying to build like interesting looking environments, right? And this is stuff from like ages ago. But like, yeah, just like sketches from like different environments. Like, oh, what if I combine like, I don't know if you can see this actually. Let me actually make sure that you can see some of this. Let me let me make it bigger as well. Yeah, let's focus on the camera, right? So, like a lot of this stuff was already focused on environment art, right? Like, sorry, I want to see. Sorry, I just realized that I was still small on the screen. Sorry for that. I mean, there were some characters, there were some dragons in there. there were like a lot of sketches, right? Where I was like, oh, I want to make a landscape like that's Japanese inspired, and you're kind of looking from like the mountain down onto a shrine in the distance. Like, when is this actually? Oh, and like, you know, like a bunch of sketches of like, hey, what would a cool little market cart look like, right? Like, what would that look like? What would a robot be? Like, how can these two things work together? How can I break up like a robot? I mean, it just goes on and on, right? Like another thing, this was something where I was like, hey, I love nature, right? Like, and this was like my at that time, like I was like, hey, I don't like where we're going with like the over industrialization of things, right? And like all this art like kind of comes from within, right? It's me expressing my feelings, right? And there's some pretty generic stuff in there as well. It's like, hey, I just want to make like a cool mountain canyon that has like a very otherworldly feel to it. But yeah, a lot of it. I mean, I feel like we're deviating from the question a little bit, let's be honest. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I was doing this like before I even knew that there was a career in this. Right? Like I just wanted to make worlds. I was like, oh, this is so awesome. I can just take a piece of paper and make it anything I want to be. Like, this is freaking awesome. Oh, my sketchbook is falling apart though. From when is all this stuff? Did I put dates on it? I mean, this is a sketchbook that I've had for the longest time. Oh, wait. Oh, 2009? Some of this stuff is from, like, the earlier stuff is from 2009, so... I mean... Yeah, it's just... Like... Got this stuff, right? I mean, it was like also like a sense of escaping, right? Where I was like, hey, again, like I can turn this piece of paper in whatever I want. And yeah, obviously inspired by the Lord of the Rings, this one. Yeah, it's awesome. And then there's like studies in there as well, where I was like, oh, I don't know. I wanna draw some cool birds. I was like, let me draw some cool birds. Yeah, it's really chaotic. Oh, it says from 2008 to 2014. So yeah, the last thing I drew in this was like 9 years ago, I guess. And that's when I was making a transition from like doing 2D stuff to 3D stuff. So yeah, let's get back to the question, right? Because the question was more about like any suggestions or tips on how to break free, right? I think that's definitely the biggest one, is like figure out why you want to do this, and it can't be anything external. Next thing is also, if you then figured out like, okay, this is 100% what I want to do, don't look for inspiration or motivation, just look for consistency. That's something that worked wonders. It's proven in science as well. Making something the habit, right? There's books that talk about that as well. Let me actually see. Oh, wait. If we're talking about where I'm getting a lot of my inspiration from, this is a book from Simon Sinek. Start with Why. Very good book on like how to find your why and why that's important. It's more catered towards like leadership and business and all that kind of stuff, but it still works. No, I don't think I have that book actually. There's another book that I was thinking about that talks about how to make habits. That was really, I kind of did it before the book was out. I made the blog, right? And the blog was something that kept me consistently putting out work like on a weekly basis. So I couldn't be like, I don't feel like it this week. Like it was something that I had to do consistently. Same thing here, right? You're watching this live stream. It's there to keep me accountable to a certain degree as well. Like, and also to have fun, of course. But yeah. Oh man. There's so much that I can say on that topic, Blaze. Because it's actually the subject of the first YouTube video that I'm currently working on. So, I mean, I'm very in depth in this topic now. So I would say I gave you like a quick overview, right? But like, there's so much more that I'm gonna point out in that video once it's out. But yeah, no ETA on that. Yeah, I hope that was helpful. Let me know, Blaze. August is saying, I wanted to start out doing concept art as well, but found that it wasn't for me. Yeah. I kind of went through the same thing as well. Because the cool thing about concept art is that you have to come up with new ideas, right? Or like combine things together to make like new ideas, which is awesome. But that is also the issue. Like, you have to constantly come up with new stuff and kind of come up with like new ideas and like problem solve how to come up with new things. And that can be really exhausting if you have to do that day in, day out, like consistently for like a project that you're working on, right? It can be very, very mentally draining as well. Because it's all about like how you solve something, how you combine something, like because a lot of concept art is just problem solving, right? You're just looking at a problem, like say, hey, we have this world, something is not working in it, like how can we solve it? And that's where concept art comes in. It's, yeah, you're just churning out ideas, because also a lot of stuff is we have. Well, I mean, the collective we, as in before we knew anything about the game industry, right? And it's more transparent now, but we thought that concept art was making pretty pictures, right? In 2D. But that's not the case. Concept art is more about like doing sketches, doing overpaints, making very rough stuff, and doing it like very rapidly as well. And then what we see from the outside are more marketing images. Like those are images that have been worked on for like a couple days to a couple weeks sometimes, depending on the project. And yeah, like that's the stuff that we see, right? But that's not the reality of once you start working in the industry. Let's see, swap this about. I had that perceived notion too. I kept seeing people post rendered images but calling them concept art, and so it kind of warped my idea of what concept art really was. 100%. I mean, also, like all the art books that are behind me, that's concept art from the game, but it's not. Like those are like the actual finished rendered images. I can tell you, like the amount of stuff that we did, like, or that people that I know worked on for Far Cry 6, for example, right? Not even from the images that I've seen alone, and I didn't have that much exposure to it, right? Because we were just one studio working on it. It's a small percentage that gets into the book. Like, really, really small. From the thousands upon thousands of images that I've seen over the years, there's only a small percentage that makes it in. It's crazy. I heard for the book, studios would get artists to polish the art to a point where it could be included in the publication as well. Yeah, 100%. 100%. What you see and what they call concept art in those books is not concept art, in my opinion. That is like marketing art, right? Like, that's polished. And obviously, there's a certain degree of, like, as an artist, you don't want to throw your concept art out there because you didn't really have the time to finish it. And there's a different level of how proud you can be about that work too, right? Because it was more about the idea, not about like your craft and your skill fully applied to it, right? So I get it from both angles. It's just, yeah, it's confusing, especially looking from the outside, right? Swap these two around. Let's do a level. I don't really want to do that, right? Well, maybe I do. So if we do this. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's cool. That's what I want. Right, so now we have the transition bit, which is a little bit thick, in my opinion. Blaze is saying, yeah, it makes sense. I appreciate your answer. I think it has something to do with me as well. I read a book called Refuse to Choose, which is for people who are interested in so many things. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it 100% has to do something with you, right? Like, and I don't mean this in like a very, very like, oh, you should fix yourself. But like, that's where it all begins, right? Like, if you don't know why you're doing something, or if you have this urge to like experiment with like a bunch of stuff, it doesn't help if you try to then force yourself into something that's never really gonna work for you anyways, right? I'm not saying that is the case with you, but I mean just in general, right? Because I'll say it right now, like the advice that I give a lot of people where I say like, hey, look, focus on one skill set, and then once you're in the industry, you can expand your skill set again. That never worked for me. I always wanted to make environments, so hearing that advice would always be like, yeah, but I want to make the whole thing, right? And I was fine with taking the longer road if it meant that I was going to be happy with that road, right? But I in that situation still have like an idea of what I wanted to do, and I doubled down on that. Right? So I understand the frustration. And I think there is going to be a place for you somewhere, right? Like, no matter what kind of skill set you have and no matter how generic you want to go, it's just the reason why I give that advice on how to specialize is because that is the highest percentage. That's going to give you like the highest percentage chance of getting a job with like the most companies, right? If you stick to your guns and you say like, hey, look, I'm going to be a generalist and I'm going to do everything, even outside of environment art, it's going to be very tricky to find a job, but there might be one out there for you. You know, so I'm aiming for the biggest the biggest percentage chance for you to succeed. That's what I'm focusing on when I give advice to people. Damn, I started checking the company portfolio, so forgot to say thanks for the answer. Yeah, no worries, Aloya. So we've got these fringes going, and now we can kind of start doing some more stuff with it, right? Because this is just square. Oh, no, let's keep it square. Let's do a bevel. Let's see. Wait, why is it doing that though? Interesting. Yeah, it's a tricky thing. Damian was also saying, but it's a useful skill to have for everything else. I think this was in reference for concept art, right? It is definitely a useful skill. There's also a conversation to be had about the notion where people will still recommend learning 2D, even though you already know that you want to focus on 3D. And I find I'm so torn on that one, because I feel like, yes, 2D allows you to quicker focus on the fundamental aspects, and you get like a better understanding on how the core components of art work. So I do see that. But then if you already know that you're gonna work in 3D anyway, I don't know. Like it also feels like a little bit of a waste of time, because I think you can also learn that through the medium of 3D. Yeah. Let's fix this little gradient. It's pretty useful for practicing imagination. I can see that. Yeah. That makes sense. That's a good point. I mean, the fact of the matter is, like, the main draw to 2D is speed, right? Because everything you have to do in 3D is going to be slower. Because especially with what you said, right? You don't have to be a full 2D artist. You can iteration is so much quicker in 2D than it is to do in 3D. Let's say I was looking at some sketches that I did for the previous project, and the amount of sketches that I did, like, would take me like triple the amount of time in 3D, like, easily. It's just like, yeah, at that point, it's just way easier to do it. Wait, this bevel isn't really working, huh? Let me go back a little bit. But it is true, yeah. I mean, I also have, I mean, you saw the sketchbook, right? I come from a place where that was a given to me, right? I was always doing 2D, and I came from 2D anyway. So maybe that's kind of clouding my judgment, right? Hi, Karuna Kit! Thank you so much for subscribing. Can we add like a... You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna turn this into like a tile sampler though. So I'm gonna put that. I don't want to do the full pattern, right? I basically... Because this is going to give me like a little bit more control, especially when we're coming to like the color random. We can kind of give it like some additional variation. I think that's going to be very useful. And then bevel this part. Yeah, this isn't... Huh? Then we're gonna make size random as well. Oh, Samantha, you loved concept art for environments, but my skill seems to stop at painting swords. Hey, whatever gets you there, you know? Like, my skills stopped at color. Like, I hated doing color, so I was pretty good at doing line drawings and like sketches with black and white. But don't talk to me about color, because I would hate that part. Wait, this bevel is not really helping our look, is it? It is pretty long as well. I think what I might do is add another one of these guys. Blending those two together. I'm just gonna move this guy down just a little bit. Look at those fancy frills. Ryan, I think we're gonna start warping them a little bit, because they do feel really flat at this point though. That's the issue. Let's see, let's stick with Mac. Because I mean we can... Yeah, okay, so let's change it up. Like if we do the bevel on this one, it's gonna give us more space to work with. Right? Or like more pixels to work with. Let's call it that. Potentially like another shape in here, right? Brick. Oh, forgot to add the normal. Normal. Oh, of course it changes this one. Okay, so height 2. And what we... So now we have like a whole bunch of these. I'm probably gonna... something like this. Let's see if this works, right? I'm gonna see if we can add like a secondary layer to it. We will have to... where's my position? This would actually be good to implement on the other one as well. It's a very slight random position. Right. And then just go into this one. Move it up a little bit. And hopefully... Oh, they're still exactly the same. Try something radically different. How does this work again? But I don't want this to be as... because I want them hanging behind it, right? So I am gonna put the color... background color... gonna put that down a little bit. I don't know. Doesn't really make it any better. Okay. Let's see. Is there a better blend mode? Let's add a warp. And a warp are we gonna do? Multi-directional? Hmm. Get our trusty clouds 2 in here. That is definitely too strong, so we're just gonna blur this a little bit. Also gonna see what we can do with like less frills, because maybe just a little bit too much. Well, change that much. Oh yeah, that might also help. That's the reason why it looks so weird now. Chain. Yeah, chain seems to be what we want. Like a little bit variation in there. And then, I mean, I wanna test it now and see how it works, see how it looks. So let's get a color in. Make it, I don't know, something like this. Yeah, it is nice, right? Let's go back. I need to look at like some more medieval stuff. We just do like a gradient. Whoop. Ambient occlusion, you need to go in there actually. Don't need you there. And that's going to be roughness, and then we got metallic in there as well. And the metallic is just going to be black. Okay, so let's try that out. Let's give it a try. What's that? Unknown identifier? What? Fable soundtracks are also so nice. I don't know if they are, what is it? Copyright free, you know? Back from lunch? Wow, you're already well on your way? Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't. We've just been chilling, you know. So let's do that. Trims, TGA, base color. That's all good. Don't think we're gonna need to hide on this one, but yeah, I'm gonna see. Let's see. Because I do want to add more trims. But what I might do is do stuff like this, where it's like a different color and it has like some embroidery or something on it. That would be cool. I don't know if we have any other... Where's my game ref? Yeah, so just like random frills, right? Where it's like just random stuff. That could be cool as well. Because that does look nice, where you just have like the random cutout stuff. And then... yeah, I don't know. We definitely need to add more to it, though. Definitely. Because a lot of this stuff in games is just like a simple titleable, really, right? Ooh, some cutout stuff could be nice, maybe? I don't know. Yeah, some of this cutout stuff. I think that's all the ref that I have for this. Have you already had lunch, Tim? Yes, I did. We had lunch at 12, so like 2 hours ago, and then we went out for a walk with a dog. So I went out for a walk for 2 hours, came back, had lunch, went for another walk with a dog, and then doing the stream. So it's been a good start of the day. Okay. Hi Tobias! How are you doing? So, if we then mark this as a scene, how do you do this? I just want to select this one thing though. Scene. Oh. It's because some of this stuff is a bit janky, huh? A little bit of jank. That's better. Let's set up a new shader then. So, cloth. We're gonna duplicate this. Cloth trims. That's the base color. Base color. ORM. Oh, I think I imported the wrong one. Base color, and then we got trims normal. So ugly. What did it do? Where's my other one? Oh, never mind. Okay, now we grab this. Let's just add a couple of seams on the edges. Boom. Bit. Don't need soft select. Thank you very much. Wait, there's one wonky piece. What is this wonky piece doing? Where is that? Why are you wonky? Finished my second last semester of uni, 4 months left, and I'm done with uni. Hell yeah! Time to get back into the real life. Well, time to get started in real life, I guess. What is left for this last 4 months then? Do you have to do like a graduation piece or something like that? No? Stack. Oh, need to disable this. Stack them up. Now I've got the trim. Hello, good morning, Victor. How are you doing? Are gonna rotate this guy. This one's good. This one's good. And then we still need to implement the opacity map as well. So let's get that in there. I'm just gonna be lazy. Just duplicate this folder location. Hello? No, not that. Oh, it's already in there. Okay, so... Oh, right. Before we do that, we need to make sure that we push the levels in our opacity a little bit. Quite hard to see now, but I'm trying to keep an eye on like the AO as my guide to see how much I need to cut away from the opacity map. Yeah, something like that. Should be good. Having some coffee before starting to work. Awesome! And then Tobias has a final project, essentially one last big game. Oh, cool. Last big game. What do you know what the game's gonna be about? I don't know. I don't know if you already know that or not. Samantha's saying, I wish I could have more coffee. What's stopping you, Samantha? Live your best life. Unless you've already had, like, I don't know, a ridiculous amount of cups. Maybe don't do it then. I'm not a health advisor. Oh my god, that would be the worst. If people come to this channel for health advice. Alpha clip. Yes. Put that on there. Oh, there's the alpha. Kept looking over it. Yeah, this is awesome. I don't know. Had 2 cups and that's already pushing it. I won't sleep. Yeah. I mean, I go to sleep pretty late, and sometimes what I'll do is I'll have like a frappe, which is like cold coffee, I guess, but it's not really cold coffee. But it's probably also not good because I usually drink it as like my evening routine, like I don't know, around 10 or something like that, and I go to sleep at like 1 or 2. Probably not the best thing, you know, but hi. It's nice though. You can drink frappe at 10. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it's can or should. You know, because I think everyone can, but I don't think a lot of people should. And maybe that's including me. I don't know. That's a flex. Oh, dang. Frappe flexes. This is a weird world that we live in. Flexing my frappe consumption in the evening. Can't even drink on past 4 p.m. Oh shit. Wait, so okay, enlighten me. Like what you really can't sleep? Like let's say you have a frappe. I don't even know what the caffeine like the caffeine intake is of like a frappe. I've never even checked. Like would that really like screw you over for like the night? And then if we play around with the UVs a little bit, we can have them go straight down. This is pretty nice, even though the UVs for the top face are still kind of screwed up, you know? Can I need to optimize this, right? Because this is a freaking mess. Let's be honest. So where's that geo even going? Like this is a oh, so dirty. Okay. Game this when people tell them not to drink an excessive amount of coffee. I don't drink a lot of coffee actually. Especially not in the summer. Like I don't know. I do love my my frappuccino though. But I usually it depends, like on most days I'll just drink one. Because I've kind of have this routine where I do like my day's work or whatever. And then at the end of the day, then I'll have one. I think that's like the average. There are days where I'll drink like way more, right? Like yesterday, I just went kind of nuts and I think I had like 2 frappes, like, I don't know, after midnight or something. And I slept fine. So yeah, I don't know if that's an issue or if that's a benefit. Let's call it like that. I only drink water and coffee. Well, that's one thing that I do need to increase though. Like I don't drink enough water. Like I've always had an issue with that. And I'm trying to be good at it, especially when I'm streaming. Like I'll try to make a habit of at least drinking like a good amount of water before the stream so that I'm kind of prepared and I don't fuck up my voice. Yeah, there are days when I just forget to drink water, you know? I just don't drink any water. I found that when I drink soft drink, I don't drink water or get thirsty. Yeah, I don't drink soft drinks either. So we don't really have soft drinks in the house. Like we only have like milk for the frappuccino and then water. Well, sometimes we have like fruit juices or something like that, but that's more on an occasion rather than anything else. Just don't drink a lot in general. Maddie's saying 3 or 4 cups a day for me. Hell yeah. So let's see. Oh, Tobias's game will be a car racing game set in the cyberpunk world. I'll be making every model, every prop, every level, and all the code. Okay. Yeah. Good luck with that, Tobias. Samantha's saying, I normally drink 1 cup of coffee in the morning, and then I'll have one past afternoon, and I will be wide awake. And then second favorite is saying, any coffee? I usually go to bed at 10 though, so different schedules. Yeah, for sure. It would keep me up until 1 or 2. Yeah. Yeah, Tobias. Maybe, look, maybe don't put like all your fate in luck, and maybe pick something that's a little bit less intensive. I don't know, just my 2 cents. Because I'll give you a controversial thing to say maybe, or your school wouldn't like it, but like school grades doesn't matter. It's the portfolio that matters in the end, right? So try to make your things look good rather than trying to do a lot that gives you good grades. There's definitely a balancing act there, but yeah. That's the real world. I don't think so. Companies have asked me about my degree, right? They have asked, but they never needed to see it. I've never had to show it, and I don't think I've ever even seen my own degree, because by the time that it got sent to me, I was already living in the UK. I don't think I've ever seen my own degree, actually. Just one of those weird things that you spend so much time thinking about and so much time, I don't know, making sure that you have good grades and all that kind of stuff, and then you enter the real world and it's like, oh. Especially in games. No one really cares. It's like, oh. Kind of disappointing, you know? To a certain degree. I picked up my degree from uni almost 3 years after I got it. Yeah. Yeah, I think my degree is somewhere on the attic in my parents' place. I think. Yeah. Talked about that a ton of times before, but second favorite is bringing up a good point. Is I'm only there so I can be eligible for a work visa. That's honestly like the biggest thing that I would say, or the biggest benefit that you can get. Is just so that if you wanted to work, if you're in Europe and you wanted to work in America, you probably want like a bachelor degree. Yep, Victor's saying the same thing. Using it right away for immigration, 100%. Yep, that's the biggest benefit. I've also heard the opposite, where people don't have a bachelor degree, and I don't know if this is for every country, right? But this is from what I've heard from someone who wants to go and work in the US, and they say that if you don't have a bachelor's degree, you need to have professional work experience equivalent, like a 3-to-1 ratio, equivalent to each year that it would take you to get a degree. So that means if your degree is 3 years long, you need to work professionally for 9 years, which is freaking nuts. So yeah, if you're ever planning to go outside of where you are, you need a visa at a certain point in your life, get a degree. What is that? Oh, that's a bevel. All right. Are you a bevel? Why are you a bevel, though? Stinky bevel. Okay, where is my ref? Where is this thing poking through? Okay, so that doesn't poke through at all. Victor saying Canada for me. I had to show my diploma and also my 10 years of work experience. Dang, yeah. Wait, so Victor, I hope you don't mind me asking this. Like, do you think that if you didn't have those 10 years of work experience? Wait, no, let me swap that around actually. If you didn't have your diploma, would you still have gotten the job, you think? Only with your 10 years of work experience? I mean, it's kind of like a thought exercise, right? I know that there's not like a definite answer to it, but I'm just curious. Schools hate him. Timothy Trees is one weird trick. Oh my god. Maddie is saying, I got mine in 2019 in games art. I do worry though, if it's worth it because I still haven't broken into the industry like I wanted. Well, that's the thing that I was saying, right, Maddie? Is like your diploma doesn't really matter that much because from all the people, like if we were looking for a new person, right? If we're looking for a new artist to join the team, we don't look at a diploma first. We look at the portfolio first. And well, let's be honest, I've never really looked at a diploma when I was looking for someone. I was just like, hey, look, awesome work. Maybe someone knows him, gives a personal recommendation. It's always a benefit. And then maybe HR comes in and then they're like, hey, do you have a diploma? Right? But it's literally just a checkbox. It's nothing more in games, in my experience at least. So, yeah, it's kind of a weird thing. So, I mean, was it worth it? That's going to be very personal, right? But because I've heard people that were on both sides of the spectrum. And also, oftentimes, universities and the things that they teach are often lacking. Even if you go to a really good school, which I went to, right? I went to a really good school. But even then, you enter the industry and you learn so much in your first year that it's kind of crazy. So I can only imagine if you went to like a bad school, man, that feeling is going to be like way worse. Or like way more intense. Looking back, I would have saved the money, got a good intro CGMA course, and then a good mentorship to make your portfolio, then invest the rest. Yeah. I mean, there is something, like the usual points that people bring up why they still go to university, right, is for the personal connections. I didn't really get that benefit out of it, gotta be honest. Maybe that will pay dividends in the future, who knows? And then being surrounded by people, right? That was always the big thing. For me, like, it really learned me to, like, double down and, like, believe in myself. And also, like, really push my limits. That's the biggest thing that I've learned. Because before, I was kind of useless, you know? Like, I mean, useless in a way where I didn't really know what to do. I was kind of drawing a lot, right? Like the sketchbook shows as well. But I didn't really want it to go to work. Didn't really want to do any of it, you know? It was just like, I guess I'll have to go to work at some point. But it didn't really give me any drive, you know? What are we doing here? So I think let's do that. Wait, so let's have a look here. So, Victor, what is up there? So, recommendation letter from your past employer. That always helps for sure. I was already working for the studio back in Brazil as remote work. When I applied for the work visa, they asked me for the diploma and work experience. They used both to create my dossier, and then the studio already hired me knowing that I was a good candidate for the visa. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. Wow, so I'm guessing I'm staying within the AU. Yeah, I mean, that's the benefit, right? Like, working within the EU, like, you can kind of work in a lot of places. Samantha's also saying it helped me be less introverted because I couldn't even talk to stranger and I was kind of forced to talk a lot. Yeah, I guess that's true. I didn't really see that much of a benefit myself when it comes to that. Because, I don't know. I kind of always looked at it more as like, hey, look, I'm gonna be like, I don't know. Like, I always had this weird metaphor in my head where I was gonna be like the silent warrior, just like really holding my craft, right? And like really just focusing in. So yeah, I kind of, in a way, I didn't make the most of university then, right? By the sounds of it. Solden is saying cool stuff. Thank you so much, Solden. Welcome to the chat. So we're in everything to the world. Let's make sure it's textile density as well. Yeah, I think it also depends, right? Like I said, I went to like a really good school. I'm happy with the education that I got, even though I kind of stumbled into it. But man, there's also like a bunch of people that I looked at. Nothing like a bunch of people's portfolios that I looked at, and you could just tell that they didn't get like a good education. And it's like, man, I would be so mad if I then had to pay like a fortune to basically learn nothing from people that know nothing. You know? Oh, gets me so worked up sometimes. Well, you seem to be doing all right if it worked or not. Well, yeah, to a certain degree, right? I mean, everyone... I think that's the most interesting thing, right? It's, just... I don't know. Like, it's kind of in line with what I was saying before, where it really... Like, university for me really helped me explore my own boundaries and really be introspective of what I could and couldn't do. Right? I couldn't do that on myself. I kind of didn't know how. But just because through the amount of pressure that the school put on us, I was always like, dang, I can do a lot. You know? Like, it was like eye-opening to me that I could do a lot. It was really helpful. Shh, we don't talk about that. Oh, sorry, second favorite. I don't know, it just sucks, you know. I don't really care about like the businesses of schools. I care about the people that come out of them, right? And some of them, like if you, I mean, I don't want to single anyone out, right? But like, let's say you got a degree, and after that degree, you don't get a job for like a couple of years, even though you did the degree. Then what's the point of the degree, right? Like it's so weird. Like, and I also get that you need to apply yourself, and like games is a tricky situation, tricky and competitive field to get into, because it is so interesting, it is so exciting, and in a certain degree, like it is also very new and upcoming still, right? It's so innovative, like, and fresh, so that's why it's so attractive to a lot of people. But that also means that, yeah, you're going to be competing with a lot of people too. Yeah, it's just, a school can prepare you for that, but a lot of them just don't, or they don't know how, you know, because they don't employ the right people that have like actual experience in how stuff works. It's yeah, because it makes me sad, right? Like that's the main feeling that I always get away from it, is that these are people that are really, like, the majority of people that I talk to that are in this position are, you can see that they want to apply themselves and that they are applying themselves, but they just don't get the right support, or they just don't have the right people that have the experience that they're looking for. Like it's, yeah, there's no other word for it than sad, in my opinion. But yeah. I mean, look, let's be honest, like, if that wasn't the case, and if schools were doing like a really great job, like, communities like ours didn't really have to exist to the degree that they do now, right? So it's kind of, it's kind of yeah, it's kind of a weird position. Daniel is asking me, how did you create the knots on those bench? You want to see my trick? I just select this edge, and then I do quick pipe, and then I have a rope. Because these are all just circles. I do wanna make them properly though. At some point, not now. But it kinda does enough, right? Like it sells the illusion that they're there. And Damian is saying, I think the majority of people that are skilled enough to teach would rather just make games. Yeah, 100%. And there's also people out there that should make games rather than teach, because not everyone that is in the games industry or has a lot of experience is a good teacher either, right? So there's definitely that part of it. But I think, from what I can tell, I mean, maybe this is a subset of certain schools, right? But like what I see and what I find quite interesting is that Canadian schools, I think, they have a system where someone's working full time and then they have like a part-time job as like a teacher's assistant. And there seems to be, that system seems to be working, but that's not a thing that really happens within schools that I've seen in the EU. Well, I shouldn't say the EU, I have no idea about like a lot of countries here, but let's say Belgium, or from the schools that I've seen here in Berlin, for example, they don't really seem to be doing that to the same degree. Do not want to make that all seams. Top Norbert. Hey, I'm new here and I'd like to ask something. What advice would you give to a beginner who wants to do 3D environment design full time but doesn't know where to start or how to generate a basic income? That's a complex question, right? It starts first with what do you want to do? Do you want to be working for yourself? Do you want to work for a studio? Do you want to work do you want to work freelance for a studio, something else? Like, what do you have in mind there? Because there's a lot of ways of generating an income. I just don't know if that's going to align. Also, think about the wording of what you just asked, and 3D environment design is something different than 3D environment art. Design is usually more towards the 2D side. Or like the pre-production side, where it's more about how should I say it? Like building the idea of the world rather than building the world itself, right? For example, I'm a 3D environment artist, and my job in the industry was making assets and making levels and set dressing levels, right? That was my job in the industry. Yeah, I just don't want to leave you with like a bunch of generic tips that are probably pretty easy to find. Just not really interested in that, honestly. I mean, I didn't mean that as like a very passive aggressive note that you can't ask me questions, right? Like feel free to ask any questions. I like to create my own business in 3D environment art world. Okay. Do you have professional working experience within 3D environment art then? That would be my first question. Or with business, do you mean freelance? Because if you want to start a business and you wanna start building like worlds for clients, for example, right? I would advise you to at least get like a couple of years of experience on how the pipeline works on the inside, rather than trying to do that from the get-go. Don't have professional experience, just side projects on my portfolio. Yep, I think that's totally fine, and that's where I would start then. Like, try to get a job in the industry first. If that is your goal, right? If you want to create your own business and make 3D environment art worlds, you need to know what the pipelines are, what the technologies that are used are, and have, or like at least build up like a good portfolio that shows that you can do it, right? I mean, there are also other ways, but they all require you to build up like the skill set first, right? Like I've heard a lot of more recent people that have gotten into game art through through doing stuff in Roblox, or doing stuff for VR chat, or now doing stuff in Unreal Engine for Fortnite. That might also be like a more approachable way into making it into a business potentially. But yeah, like the thing still stands, right? Like at a certain point, you're gonna encounter that you need to make stuff yourself, and for that, you need to have the skill set of like, okay, what workflow do I need to use, or how do I make my own assets, or how do I compose my own images, or how do I do all that, right? Oh. Because I mean, okay, I'll deviate for a little bit, and I'll say there are places where you can easily market yourself for jobs, right? Like Fiverr or Upwork or any of those platforms. However, I would personally never recommend them because I feel like those platforms are more of a race to the bottom than anything else, and they won't ever give you any time to really hone your skills and really become a professional. Again, in my opinion, right? Like all the people that I've seen on there and that I've kind of outsourced to in the past, like they kind of feel stuck. Like they don't really have enough time because they're too busy like doing project after project that is like really low in compensation. So that's why I try to stay away from like all those things, like all those stereotypical answers myself. Does that help a little bit, Todd? Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. Oh, no, didn't want to do that. The problem is that currently there are limited opportunities to work in a 3D studio in this country. Yeah. I live in Hungary. Fair enough. There are... I mean, it's tricky, right? There are definitely more remote opportunities. But if you are open to relocate, that's always going to help. So if that is one of the things that you can do, if not, I'm gonna be pretty honest. Like, if that is not an option and you've applied to like a bunch of studios, I think you need to look at your work and like improve the work. I don't have any idea about your portfolio, right? I've not looked at it, but I feel that you'll probably get to a point where it's like, look, I can, if none of the jobs, I'm not saying that this is your case, right? But let's say in general, if you get to a point where you're like, oh, I've applied to like hundreds of jobs. None of them want me, or like none of them have even replied. I think it will be time to really reevaluate your work and see if that work aligns to the companies that you're applying to. Because let's be honest, the more closely your work resembles a studio, or like comes closer to it, the more likely they'll be to hire you, right? I wouldn't necessarily go for something where you go super specific. So I would keep it pretty broad to like, hey, your stuff still just needs to look really good and professional. And then once it does, I'm sure that companies are gonna come knocking. The companies here set very high expectations, and this trend is growing rapidly in other countries. Yep. Yep. Yeah, 100%. And that's a trend that is probably not gonna stop. Like I think the overall trend is gonna increase over time, just because I think that there's gonna be more and more people that are really interested in making games for a living. You know, that sounds very exciting for like younger people. So there's going to be more and more people that will try to compete in a job market, right? So that means that your work has to be even better than it had to be like a couple of years ago, let's say, or when I was applying. You know, that's the unfortunate reality of it. You need to either be better, you need to showcase that you can do something differently and stand out from the crowd, or you just start doing stuff by yourself, right? But there's so many ways of doing that. Yeah, I feel like everyone kind of has their own opinions on that, in terms of like, or like own, not opinions, but like own routes when it comes to working for yourself. I think so. There is that, right? So there's going to be more and more people that are going to be interested. I think what's also going to happen though, because the recent trend has been that a lot of senior talent has been kind of going away from the bigger companies, and they've started their own thing. That doesn't mean anything now, but that will mean, I mean, this is a guess from my end, right? But I think that will mean that in the future, we're going to have more junior jobs opening up once those companies have their senior staff like fully set up, and that they can start thinking about scaling, right? Because right now, that's also why there is like a shortage in senior people, because all companies are looking for them, right? The bigger ones, the smaller ones, they're all looking for the same sort of talent before they can then stabilize and then hire juniors again. I believe that the level I need to reach is extremely high to earn a minimal amount as a full-time professional in this industry. Yeah, I mean, look, if you're if you're not happy with the compensation that you're getting, right? And you've done your research, there's actually like a bunch of good resources. I'll share like a link where you can get like an accurate look of the, let's see, of the salaries out there. Because we've been collecting like a whole bunch of resources and like Google Sheets where people put their wages in. So I'm gonna add that to the chat here so that you all can go and check it out if you wanted to. Let's have a look. Did that work? Think that worked. Let me know if that link doesn't work, right? But if you've done your research and you're not happy with the compensation that you're probably gonna get, this might not be the industry for you. I mean, yeah, it kind of sucks, right? Like, I want people to earn more as well. But yeah, sometimes that's just not the case, right? So I would say do your own research. Have a look through all the links that I've added in there, like in that page, and then yeah, think about if you're still interested in pursuing this as a career. Because it does take a lot of time, and there is definitely, the career definitely requires an amount of passion, in my opinion, right? Like, you need to be invested in it to do this over the long term. And yeah, if you can't really find that, then I don't want you to be stuck into a career that you're not going to enjoy, right? I will say from my personal opinion, like as a junior, yeah, I would love to earn more. But like as soon as you start climbing the seniority ladder a little bit, I felt really comfortable with the wages that I've always had. So, but I do understand as a junior, especially if you work for certain companies that work in big tech hubs, like for example, London, it's going to be really tricky to get in a position where you earn enough to live by yourself. You're gonna have to like share a house with other people. I think that's just the reality of it. And this might apply to like a bunch of major cities. I think the same might even apply. Let's think. I don't think the same applied in Berlin. But I do know people that kind of live together to kind of cost save there. But I do also know people that live by themselves as a junior and also paying for their own stuff. So yeah. I don't know. It's a very complex and like very personal thing, right? So it's definitely worth thinking about. Is anyone else feeling the same thing that, or has anyone else ever felt the same hesitancy of like trying to join an industry that has this weird relationship with like passion and compensation, right? Thank you for your help. I truly appreciate it. Hopefully in the future I can showcase my work and hear your opinion. Yeah, sure. I mean, every Wednesday, I go through the work of our community members in Discord and then stream it live on YouTube. So if you wanna get your work reviewed on like a weekly basis, feel free to join our Discord. Which you can find like in the link below this live stream. You can find a link to our website where you can sign up. If you're interested. Some of them are pretty thick though, right? Let's maybe go back. I think at a certain point stuff starts to blend together a little bit too much, right? So oh, Maddie, you gotta go. See you later. I've never thought about it, but I've only also looked at the US salaries. Oh god, second favorite. I did the opposite. So, well, no, I actually did the same as you. And I was really excited. Until reality hit and I was not going to be earning a US salary. Oh my god, I remember that vividly. Oh. My last jobs, the money was so nice, but I must say I miss the actual work more. I get jealous when I hear my husband's Slack peeping. What? Do you mind me asking, Samantha, what happened there? Like, how come you don't work there anymore? Maybe you mentioned it before, but I just missed it. But yeah, about this story, right? Like, oh man, I can remember in preparation of building my portfolio, I was looking at like a bunch of like the US salaries and I was like, man, this is gonna be nice, you know? I thought I was gonna be doing really well. Like really well. Like even because even on the lowest spectrum, right? I thought I was gonna be looking at I don't know, let's say 40. What was my thinking back then? 40 to 50k. Let's say, right? And I was like, okay, divide that by 12. Oh shit, that's gonna be nice. Super happy about that. And then I get my first internship and I get paid 17k to live in a really expensive city that almost is as expensive as London. And I was living in a shoebox where I could... Oh my god, so ridiculous. I was living in a shoebox where I had a bed, I had a little desk that I could nearly fit at the desk. It was just wide enough as I am now. And then I had a wardrobe, but I couldn't open the doors of it because my bed was in the way. And I couldn't move it. Like I didn't have space in the room. So 6 months of an internship. Oh, and I was also paying 600 £600 for that little room that I just described to you. So for 6 months I was kind of living out of my suitcase because I just didn't have anywhere to put my clothes, you know? God, so many. And it was a house share as well, right? So I was living with like 4 other students that were well, one of them definitely was pretty disgusting. I still so ridiculous. Oh my god. I took pictures from all the disgusting stuff that they left behind. And I still have pictures of this rice cooker that was never cleaned out but was used on a daily basis. Man, yeah. There was one thing at that point where I thought, I'm never sharing a house with anyone else ever again. Like, I'm done. This is gonna be the first and the last time. Like, fuck that. Oh my god. Oh. Yep, don't miss it for a single bit. So nasty. Oh my god. My contract ended. They wanted to make it permanent, but there were a couple of issues. It was too far off from what I wanted to do. Oh, that's unfortunate. Munir is saying, "Oh my god, I can't imagine living with someone like that." Oh my god. Want to hear another story? So there was this moment, like it was like 12ish in the middle of the night. And I was just working along. I think I was doing some personal work or working on the ArtStation challenge or whatever. All of a sudden, power cut out. I was like, "Huh, that's weird." But I'm sure that the person that did it is probably going to investigate and like try to solve it. I was waiting there for a little bit, 10 minutes go by, power's still out. I was like, okay, I'll just go and check it out. I go down, and one of the housemates that I was sharing the house with, he was calling with his girlfriend, I think from China. And he spilled a whole bottle of water on a power brick that like short circuited the entire thing, but he didn't care about it enough to do anything about it. So I open the door, go into like the little living area that we had. That thing was fucking sparking on the floor, and he was just chilling out, like calling with his girlfriend. Oh my god. I don't think I've ever gotten so mad at someone. I think I scared the living shit out of him. Oh my god. I was so pissed. Because for all you know, right? He doesn't care about it. Like, he goes up to his room, the whole place light's on fire, and I'm stuck in a burning building. And I'm just like, fuck no, you're never gonna do this. I mean, I was so angry. But he got the message. I could see on his face. He definitely got the message. And after that, he was also, like, a little bit more friendly. And, yeah. I don't think he ever spilled and didn't clean it up ever again. So that was pretty good. You know, I think a lesson learned. Oh my god. Oh. So stupid. You're laughing? This man almost got burned alive and you're laughing? Yeah, I mean... Yeah, we could all have burned alive, right? Like, that's the reality of it. Like, it happens more often than we think, right? Like, stuff goes wrong, carelessness steps in, and then, like, accidents happen really quick. I'm just happy that I wasn't like that, right? And I was like, okay, let me investigate. Let's see if we can fix this. Well, yeah. It oftentimes does make me wonder, though, like, how many times have people just in general, right, like, been in situations that are like this, where you're like, man, if I wasn't here in this moment, in this time, like, something could have really screwed up. Because I think that might happen, like, an uncomfortable amount of time each day, like, every second, probably. Oh my god. Second favorite saying, my roommate is a slob, but he's also the homeowner, and the house is very nice, so I compromise. Yeah, okay, fair enough. You know? Yeah, I am glad. I'm glad that I don't have to deal with that stuff again. Whew. Okay. I think we should set up the material in the engine as well. He's going to start having a van life journey, so I'll have the house to myself. What? That's awesome. At least Jason 2 realizes he hates it. Or the opposite way around, second favorite, like, where he loves it so much that he's gonna sell the house. I bet you didn't think about that one, huh? Okay, so cloth trims, cloth trims, this is the same. Oh, we're back at the normal chill music. Let's yeah, I mean, it could be pretty silly if you wanted to sell the house. Have it anyway. Unless something really bad happens where you might have to sell it, then yeah, maybe. Let's have a look. Where did I put this? Cloth. Textures. Well, apparently not here. Where did I save it? Okay, who else? Come on, I can't be the only one that has horror stories, right? Like, people in the chat must have horror stories like that as well. Building a new Apple campus near us and all the houses around here just shut up 200k? Yeah, great. Ugh. Oh yeah, I had a roommate named Larry and he was a disgusting monster. I don't... I loved him. It was like living with a gorilla. Oh my god, dude. Ugh. I don't even think I ever asked the name of any person that I lived with. I don't know. It was such a weird situation. So weird. Plot trims. So wait, so if we export this, it should export with a new material assigned to it, right? If it at all does. Yes, there we go. There we go. We got some fringes. That's looking nice. Yeah. I actually quite like that. We're gonna tweak the texture for sure, right? But I actually quite like the way that that looks. Sarah is saying, when I was living in Brussels, I was in an Airbnb, went to sleep, got woken up by the sound of walking and searching. And when I switched on the light, I realized it was a rat going through my stuff. Did not feel good. Oh my god. Oh my god. Rangers. They are definitely too straight as well, right? But we can actually just easily fix that with some geometry. Okay. I have to watch out where the geometry doesn't become like too visible. Mold spreading behind the toilet, sink was broken, kept leaking, microwave was a rusted fire hazard, wood stairs were rotten. Oh my god. Yeah, you had a great time. This was like a real medieval house. Doo-doo-doo. What else can we add here? Oh, that's cool. Like the back of it kind of does have like rolled up like pieces of fabric. It's quite nice actually. That's a nice touch. So let's see if we can do something with that. And I'm obviously going to be really lazy about it. Hey Antoine! Welcome. We're just talking about like horror stories about living together with other people. So welcome. Welcome to the chaos. Oh, that's the front. Yeah. Not even paying attention to what I'm doing. And then we don't need the fringe on this side, right? So, oh wait, it's like by seam. Man, I'm working so weird, like with all that stuff open. Let's go. Oh, and then what we could do... Oh, yeah, I like this. Okay, so what we could do... Yeah, got a good idea. Got some inspiration here. So we hang this underneath this beam so that this kind of rolls up into here. And then we attach the beam with ropes. Or like we attach this thing to the beam with ropes. I like that. So we're kind of doing something like this, right? So we're converting this to a mesh. And then let's say we do quick pipe here. Quick pipe here. Then attach that stuff. Those beams. Right, and then what we'll do here with this guy, I'm gonna make sure that this thing kind of follows, like this little bit of hanging, well, it kind of follows where the ropes are attached to it. Let's that is gonna fold into that. Kind of just looks like a giant sausage hanging from the back of this, though. Hey, let's ignore that for a second, huh? Off to the grocery store. Have fun, everyone. Don't get too rowdy. Enjoy the grocery store. Second favorite. Oh yeah, I forgot to say. Like, I'm doing great, Antoine. Thank you so much for asking. Been having fun in the background. Well, like before the stream, I was recording our first proper YouTube video. I've been having a lot of fun, actually. Like, I wasn't anticipating having a lot of fun with doing like creativity in like a different way, right? Like, I'm currently going through like editing and like trying to find the best way where I can tell a story, and I'm really enjoying it. Yeah. What about you? What have you been up to? So I'm trying to make it a little bit like flappy. What if we just snap it to some vertices? Yep, I do like that. I do like where that is going. Working on a little scene. Hopefully I finish it. That's awesome. I'm confused. How does the rope system work? What, like this thing in the back? Oh, well, I guess you can fly. Yeah, I guess it doesn't make too much sense. Oh, do you just have to spoil everything, Damian? Oh my god. Guess how would that work? Like, how would you do that? Like, you would roll it up. And how would you fasten that together? Because it is happening here as well, right? Just thinking... Do they do it through the holes here? Maybe there's like a rope that goes through some of these holes and then goes back around? That's the only thing that I can think of, really, right? Unless they have a hole in the fabric itself, like somewhere here. It could also work. So... yeah, so it would be like a hole that goes through here and then cuts through the cloth. Samantha is also going to do some shopping. Thanks for the stream. It's been interesting as always. Thanks for being here, Samantha. Thank you so much. enjoy the shopping. So let's just pretend that they just got like a hole in the cloth, right, where they can pull stuff through. Let's just pretend. We'll figure that out later, because that's a good point, though. Even though it's annoying, it is a good point. What are we gonna do here? So, can I? It's a roll. Not really, huh? Okay, it's time to grab a little bit of water. Gonna be right back. All right, we're back. Got myself a Capri Sun as well. Get them open. Nice. same song again. Get out of here. Okay, so what else do we need to do? We've got like the bit of folding stuff. We need to definitely clean that up a little bit. Did I do? Oh. And then combine like all the ropes. Maybe clean up the ropes as well. Oh, how did they work again? Completely forgotten how these connections work. Doo-doo-doo. Connect two poles together. There we go. Just give me the simple one, please. Now we're getting into the weeds of things. How do I tie knots? This is so ridiculous. It does look cool though. Oh, you can flip it too? Ooh. What's this? Oh, that's just the speed of autoplane. Okay, okay. So wait. Because the main thing that I want to do here is kind of just get the impressions of it, right? Like we're trying to distill it to like the form. I don't want to do like the whole thing. So we're getting a couple of these, and then we're getting this guy as well. No, it has to be perfect. No, Damian, if you want to do it perfect, feel free. Do you want to do all my knots like in the entire scene? I got a couple ones. I think the closest that I got was on this guy, I think. I was like, cool, I'm gonna make sure that these knots are like somewhat decent, you know? Oh my god. Yeah. Cool. I'm basically just bragging about like all the time that I wasted at that point, you know? Wait, so we got the core here, right? We got a couple of them going that way. We got a couple of them going that way. We just need to make sure that there's also this stuff happening too, right? Where does that come from? So it goes to the back and to the front again. Oh, so okay. Wait, I say okay, but I don't. It goes from this ball underneath up into that ball again. Yeah, so it goes underneath, up over here, underneath that one. Oh my god. It's confusing. So, yeah, it goes over this one, underneath that one. So, okay. Okay. Let's just do something like this. So it goes from underneath to over. That's weird. Underneath to over? Yeah, underneath, over. That's so weird. New position, not artist. I mean, I've seen some weird positions out there. I think the weirdest one that I've seen was bunker artist. This was for Horizon Forbidden West or Zero Dawn. I can't remember which one. But they had a specific opening that was looking for people that were interested in making bunkers. That's the weirdest one that I've seen up until now. So this one goes there. That one, wait, yeah, no, yes. This one goes underneath again. Right, so it kind of goes. Man, this doesn't feel like good at all. Like, what am I doing? So, okay. Yeah, so that goes underneath, that goes over, and that goes underneath again, and then does the same thing, and then it basically tightens around the whole thing, right? Okay, so that means that... Oh, no. We're doing this. This is where it connects with those knots. It feels so weird. And you do this a couple of times. And then that connects to this loop. Can fly. Does it even look good? What's happening there? That looks horrendous. I guess it does tie everything nicely together though, so I guess that's the benefit. Get it? Ties everything together? Oh. Yeah. Doesn't have to be perfect. I think this is good. Where do we end up? And then you kind of just bind that like underneath that section. But I'm probably just gonna do a little tuck over here. And then we're gonna take this guy, move it up a little bit. Guess that's it. There's nothing inherently satisfying about this, you know? Like, it's just... I don't know, sometimes you just have this feeling that you need to make it good. And the sacrifice is that you have a bunch of ropes that you have to do. Wait, hold on. No, no, no. Let's keep you tucked in there. Smoothing that out a little bit. That's good enough, right? We can get away with that. So ridiculous. Yes, and then to make it look a little bit different, we're just gonna, I don't know, just gonna add another couple sections here. And of course, we need to have that make sense as well. So I'm thinking we do like this, where this connects to that one. It kind of loops. Loops up. Right, and then this side loops down. No, not the segment. Yes. Maybe. So I told everyone that I'm kind of making this video on like how to actually finish environments, right? But then I feel that over time, what I've been doing is I've just been gathering like more and more evidence that this is not the way to do it. I mean, look at me. I'm spending like such a long time on making friggin' cool looking ropes. Like, whoa, what am I doing? Why should anyone listen to me? Oh my god. It is fun to do though, not gonna lie. I get a weird amount of satisfaction out of this. Smooth it out. Ooh, look at that. Line it all together. Let's do the same thing. These guys. Sophie Dan is saying, you're putting care and attention into the little parts that no one will ever see, but you did it anyway, you mad lad. Yeah, I think that's kind of been my approach for this entire project, I feel. You know, spend so much time on the little things. Like, I remember... Oh my god, I give another example. So, like... Still have the table with tools here? I think I removed it. These tools, the amount of time that I spent, especially... Where's the one? Where is the one? So many of these little tools. Pause. Yeah, this one. Like, I spent so much time making sure that the curve on this one was like really nice and smooth. And it's like, no one ever cares about that, you know? Like, no one's ever gonna notice that the curve isn't smooth on that guy. Like, it's a medieval tool. Like, they're supposed to be crooked and all shaken up. But hey, I put in the time anyway. So no one can take that from me. Okay. Let's get these all combined. Let's make sure that they have like... I don't want to make them too thick. Convert that all to a mesh. Okay, so first... Okay, what I want to do is I want to make all of these points just polys. Polys. Yes. And give me like a more optimized view of the whole thing. Now we can combine all of it. What is assigned to that? Oh, it's just a base material. Okay. It's gonna be ropes. Flip that. Nice! Then I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna select all of that, and I'm gonna scale it down ever so slightly. Kind of fit in more with the rest of the ropes. It's gonna be annoying. I'm just gonna delete you. See if we can get some of these curves to look a little bit better. Make it a little bit more expressive. Add some character in there. Do I still have some lights here? My light actor. To temperature. Let's see, let's have a little fun with this. Oh yeah, first of all, it doesn't need to look like a bunch of dirt on it. Let's do this. Still pretty dirty, but let's add some pottery. Because that is what the ref is also telling me to do, so... Those are pots with paint. It's a large one as well. Not this one. Little stool. I gotta make sure that the guy who's running this stuff actually sit down. I also have this little pottery table we can kind of put down. Put like a different stool on there. Yes. I'm suddenly reminded about like the pottery stalls that they have in AC Odyssey. But I don't think I have any screenshots of that. But they were looking really good. I think they had like really big stalls with like carpets on the floor and all that stuff. Let's see. Did I make multiple? Yeah, that is definitely not clean pottery. Roughness. That's the red one. Need to... Do not want a green channel. Cool. I do not want a red channel either. Some clean pottery. And then we're gonna see... Brighten it up a little bit. Maybe... Slightly different color. Oh, I'm changing the X value. I wonder why some of this stuff looks a little bit stretched. Okay, and now once we have this one set up, we can then just slap that on some of the other guys as well. Get a bit more variation. And then maybe we'll do old one if we tweak that. So again, I do not want... any of the moss. So green channel, bye-bye. Then that one has a darker color. That's good. Well, we could probably push it a little bit more. Maybe we'll push this one a little bit less. You can really tell when I'm in the zone because then I got my angry face on. Yes, is it looking good though? I like that. I like the little stall that we made. It needs refinement, right? But like, I like the detail that we're getting. I like the setup. I like where it is going. A little basin underneath. Probably for clay or something like that, right? Because I probably want like a little bit of a furnace as well. This is a big boy chest. Maybe use that as like, put that under here. It's like a divider, and then we can put like some other small stuff on there. Maybe some plates. We don't really have plates. What I also want to do at a certain point with this pottery is start adding little trims on top of them, so that we can add like more of this sort of detail to it. It's gonna be interesting. A little bit of variation. Oh, not every plate is going to be as big, right? Yeah, this is the stuff that I enjoy. Twisting it up a little bit. Oh, look at that. That looks sweet. I think the dirt is a little bit too much. So maybe go for a clean one. I mean, we definitely need to tweak some of the geo, because the geo and the trim sheet currently very basic. Well, definitely not it. Ooh, that's looking nice. Was a little bit distracting, but hey, this is yeah, this is nice. I do like that a lot. And once we start doing like some of the tweaks, like finishing up like all the ends and like making sure that the structure is a little bit in a better place, this is gonna look real nice. It's gonna look so good. I think this is a good point to stop, right? I think I'm gonna put in some more details if I have the time this week. I don't know. Or maybe we'll continue doing that next week. Or maybe we'll do something completely else. I've got no idea. But anyway, I'm gonna jump out here. I'm probably gonna take a little break and do some more editing. So thank you so much for all being here. If you wanna check out like more environment art resources, you know where to go. Check out our website. There's a bunch of free stuff on there. Thank you so much, Rory. Looks really good. Thank you so much. And yeah, yeah, what's happening? What's happening? We don't really have anything happening, anything outside of the ordinary. So I'll probably be back next week with a Work in Progress Wednesday, where we're gonna talk about like some of the improvements that can be made from people in the community. And yeah, I wish you all a nice afternoon, a nice evening, and a nice weekend as well. I hope everyone gets all the pizzas they want, and we'll talk later. Stay creative, people. Bye-bye.